And also is the fire of the versions. Of course, it's like we don't never to study the Dharma, and it's like which is our really enemies, which is really our closest. We don't know it, but it's like sometimes on like kind of mistakenly we say that is my enemies, and it's like really enemy. It is really or not. We don't know. It's difficult, but we all the times mind is projecting outside, and the inside is like making the terrible things. They disturb the emotion of the aversions, and then is all the time consuming our towards the enemies, to making the angry again and again. Through the anger, the aversions, which can do to making the problems, very bad habitual tendencies. It is like a kind of you all the time angry, concentratedly thinking about your enemies, and these tendencies habitual forming imprinting into your mind. Then inside you have patterns, tendencies are full of these enemies pictures, and then is later this projecting outside whatever appearances is become your enemies. It is like a kind of like dreams. Like during our daytimes, when we like doing something, maybe like very much concerning something. Like we can take example, if we like during the day concerning a lot electronic gadgets, it doesn't work, we are angry to them, and if we want to collect them to bring into the kitchen, to burn everything, and the whole night, and all this night, our dream, it is the electronic gadget. Because this is like how tendencies. Tendencies, there is tendencies. For example, what does the meaning of the tendencies? For example, when you study alphabet, you know, says that is A, that is the B. You can to learn that. You look and you think, you listen. And then you put inside, habitual forming, imprinting the alphabet. Later, this picture in your mind, you remember all of them, and you can write it on the papers. Because you have tendencies. Without tendencies, cannot do nothing. Therefore, we all the times concerning enemies, lot of angers. We all the times concerning close ones, lot of desire attachments. And then we put inside habitual forming imprintings, and someone enemy, someone's close. But maybe most of the time is enemies. Very difficult to trust each other. Even sometimes we say the families, parents difficult to trust to the children. Maybe my children, but maybe they are cheater. Maybe one day what they do means. And children to say it's my parents, but my parents is what going to do me. A difficult life. There is kind of doubt. If we have doubt, automatically your enemies. There's a big enemy, small enemy, middle enemies. And those enemies, you all the time constantly like this, then our mind is very much creaky. Our mind is very much kind of like untrustworthy and difficult to others to trust. And then there are, everything is like a kind of disaster things. We say, oh look, outside is difficult to trust, difficult to rely on. Everybody is like my enemies. Then inner pictures, like all our like a kind of tendencies is constantly like this. Then whatever projecting outside, it is the enemy. That is the first hell of the sufferings, like how do you call the crashing health, and like which kind of why we call the crashing the whole hell of this. Because when they see each other as the enemies, and then they're looking wrong, naturally they find the weapons, and then they destroy it, like killing each other, and after they die, they heard the sound to quickly like again its lives. They can come alive again and killing each other, like this. But there's no warriors, there's no better place, there's no enemy but their own individual delusions. And therefore, is our negative emotion of the desire, attachment, aversion is like a big defect. And therefore, it is very important to obtain the abandon the homeland. But maybe we can study the Dharma, listen Dharma, reflect on the Dharma, and then it's like even our homeland, native land, we can to make it the solitude place. Because it's like we don't need to involve this kind of, and we are through the compassionate to taking care of our close one, through our compassions, we taking care of our enemies, and equally, and it's like constantly both of there are as our like kind of families, friends. For example, in the word my perfect teacher says, who is really our family, who is our really enemies? We don't know. You know, there is one person, so his stories, he's eating fish, the meat, and eating his dog head, and carrying like cheerfully to his child. This lady or man, I don't know. But Papa Gatayanas, he saw that these situations, he's laughing, and this is like showing the samsaric, like a kind of movement. What he's eating this fish is the reincarnation of his mother and his father, I think. And he's kicking his head, the head of his dog. This is his mother's reincarnation. And he's holding his son or child is the murder of his past life. And like it is who is enemy, who is friend, we don't know. But really to according to practice the Dharma or the Bodhisattva's way, we need to constantly both as our like kind of parents to taking care the equally, and who is maybe our close as much as we can to taking care to them. That is the marvelous. Inner our mind is to develop the enlightened mind and to constantly all the sentient beings and the body and verbally who is closed. And we can to contribute kindly and compassionately without desire, attachment, without aversion, as much as we can to taking care. Then through that, then maybe we can to reflect on Dharma. We can to listen Dharma wherever we go. This is like a solitude place. It is never like kind of we are connected to this negative homeland or the negative like kind of native our land. And therefore, it is very important. Something is like there is a negative homeland is occurring for us. It is very important to abandon while to make the distance in order to practice Dharma, in order to listen Dharma, in order to reflect on the Dharma. Okay, I think we need to stop 5 minutes.